Renê, agora apareceu outro link ali no canal, viu? Tá. Vai desse link, é isso? Mas assim, ainda tá só aquela tela dele, né? O cartazinho. E tá ao vivo. Não, acho que não. Birger, we are just waiting him to set up the transmission again.
Okay. Shall I close down and open again?
No, I think you can let the slides open. It's fine. Okay. Bom dia, pessoal. Desculpa pelo problema que a gente teve agora na transmissão, né? A gente está fazendo uma transmissão completamente diferente, né, do que tem sido feito pelas lives de outras universidades. Então, justamente por isso, a gente teve alguns problemas aqui com a transmissão, né, no sentido que a gente queria que a fala do Birger tivesse legenda e a gente tivesse, enfim, a fala ficar mais acessível possível, né? Agradeço, né, a participação de todo mundo no nosso evento online, né? O programa de pós-graduação em Ciência de Informação da UFRGS, né, é um programa recente da área, mas que já tem desenvolvido algumas atividades, né? O Fórum de Estudos de Informação, Sociedade e Ciência é um evento que a gente vai manter ele anual do programa, né? Então, a gente quer, inclusive, que esse evento entre na agenda dos eventos da Ciência da Informação. Então, enquanto coordenador do curso de pós-graduação, agradeço a participação de vocês, agradeço a paciência, né? Agora eu vou começar a fala em inglês, fazendo a apresentação do Birger. We are here with Professor Birger Kjoland. He's a professor at the University of Copenhagen, an emeritus professor of the Department of Communication. He's been working with knowledge organization for a long time now. He's very important for the knowledge organization field. I'm very happy that he accepted to be with us today. He was very patient with all the issues that we have had before for this talk. Anyway. So, Birger, thank you very much for being with us today and before. I think you can start now.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me. I have been looking forward to share with you some core ideas I have about knowledge organization. And my presentation is called Search Engines and Knowledge Organization, or Why We Still Need Knowledge Organization. Do you hear me loud and clearly?
Yes, the only thing here, we are seeing the screen of the Microsoft Teams. I think you have to click on the presentation.
Okay. Better now?
No, we're still on the team screen. I think you have to close it, and then we'll probably have the slides there.
close it and then share.
Hmm?
Can you see it now?
No. Do you want me to share it, the slides?
Okay.
I will do this now, just a bit. Yes. Okay, Birger, the slides are on. I will keep passing for you. I think you can start.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll start, but something popped up on my screen and I cannot remove it. But I will. Did you remove the presentation?
Yeah, just a bit. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Now.
I think I will close my screen and open again.
You're seeing the slides now?
Yes, but I'm also seeing other things. It's a bit distracting.
Okay.
So let us continue for now. Let's continue. I can see the slides. Okay. Okay. The title of this presentation is Search Engines and Knowledge Organization, or Why We Still Need Knowledge Organization. Thank you. Next slide. And my presentation is in 5 parts. First, an introduction about information retrieval and knowledge organization. Then a section about knowledge organization systems and the semantic staircase. And then a section about examples of knowledge organization systems in different domains. And then concepts and the realist position. And the final one is the conclusion. Yes. And this is the first part, information retrieval and knowledge organization. Next. There is a close relation between information retrieval on the one hand and knowledge organization on the other. As expressed in the title of a book, knowledge organization may largely be understood as information retrieval design. One important difference between information retrieval research and knowledge organization research is that the first field, to a large degree, ignores the importance of design of the documents and document representations in which the information retrieval is performed, while this is a focus in knowledge organization. By design is here meant both what is made by authors of documents and by the process of describing, indexing, and classifying those documents. Next. Since the Cranfield experiments from the 60s, a dominant view in information retrieval and computer science has been that systems such as controlled vocabularies and metadata are obsolete tools. The famous information scientist Gerald Salton wrote in the end of the 20th century, acting as if we were stuck in the 19th century with controlled vocabularies, thesaurus control, and all the attendant miseries will surely not contribute to a proper understanding and application of the modern information science field. This view is closely related to the view that classification is not needed after Google, as I have written in my paper from 12. Next, please. If we have a look at Google, for example, what are the basic principles underlying its functions? If you type in as a sentence such as this blue one, it seems to be based on the problematic assumption that relations between concepts are a priori. If you type in this in Google with quote signs, Google will retrieve the one document that contains this exact sentence. We can call this exact match. So that's one of the principles of Google. Next slide. And if you type in a number of terms, such as concepts, relations, and a priori, Google will make a so-called best match and retrieve millions of documents in a ranked order according to some principles, which are more or less a business secret. The one retrieved in the first example is not among the top results. Partly the principles used are well-established principles from information retrieval research, mainly considering relative frequency of terms in the whole database and in the single documents. Next. It's well known that Google also uses a kind of popularity measure. The more inlinks a certain document has, the greater the weight it is given and the higher it is listed in rankings shown to the user. This is often, if not in the majority of cases, working very well because people often want the same as the majority. However, in searching for rare diseases, for example, this has proven a bad principle because rare diseases are by definition rare and not a majority issue. And here I have two references to an experiment that documents this. Next, please. The fourth major principle in search engines is personalization. Google can see your IP address and thereby your physical location as well as your search history on Google, and may adapt not just advertisement but also so-called organic search results in the ranked list presented to you. Again, this is a double sword. Sometimes it works well, but other times you might have changed interest or searched on behalf of others, while the focus on past search interest may sometimes be harmful rather than fruitful. And the fourth, go to D, go to slide 9. The fourth major principle in search engine is personalization. Google can see how I have already read that there. Please go to the next slide. Two major problems in these principles are that only exact match techniques ensure that the researcher have full control over the research or the search process. Such techniques are still used in classical databases, as for example in medical databases, and for serious searches where high recall is important, such as evidence-based medicine. So that's the one problem, that there's no full control. And the second problem is that scientific and scholarly criteria is absent in the fourth principle. The main view underlying the present article is what should be retrieved in information retrieval should be what is considered true according to our best research and scientific theories about the content or subject matter. How can truth or scientific and scholarly quality of search result be taken into account? One way, for example, used by Web of Science, is to limit searches in high-quality sources, for example, assuming a correlation between high-cited journals and quality. This is an indirect method, and of course a method with its own problems. Another way, used in evidence-based medicine, is to focus on research methods, for example, preferring studies based on double-blind random clinical trials, suggesting that indexing research methods in databases such as medicine is important. Alternatively, perhaps to work on automatic indexing of research methods. A third way is to provide knowledge organizing systems based on updated scientific scholarly knowledge. These three approaches may of course be combined and supplemented with other kinds of actions. The construction of quality knowledge organization system is where knowledge organization has its most important function, and this is what this presentation will focus on. My working hypothesis is that the computer science approaches mainly focus on statistical relations between terms in documents, collections, and queries. And although this has so far been extremely successful, there is a need for alternative based on knowledge of scholarly documentation and communication, including traditions and paradigms. That is a more overall top-down approach to information retrieval. Knowledge organizing systems is a generic term covering a multitude of kinds of systems, for example, but not limited to classification systems, thesauri, and ontologies. This presentation presents first the view of concepts and conceptual relations as the building blocks of knowledge organization systems. And this is not an original claim from me, but on the other hand, it's not generally accepted either. And two, my theory of concepts, theories, and semantic relations as the basics, that is the theoretical foundations of knowledge organization systems. This is further developed from previous papers and is based primarily on an interpretation of the philosopher Thomas Kuhn. And now to the second part of the presentation, knowledge organizing systems and the semantic staircase. And the first example here is classification systems or taxonomies. In my vocabulary, these two words are synonyms. Classifications and other knowledge organization systems may be of two kinds. They may be either bibliographic or scientific. Bibliographic classifications and document representations is the focus of library and information science and knowledge organization, and scientific classification classify research objects, for example, but not just scientific, also scholarly, for example,